Hey everybody, and welcome back to Frontend Expert. This video will be the introduction to the JavaScript crash course. JavaScript is the primary programming language of the web, and as a general-purpose programming language, you might have noticed that it closely resembles many other programming languages that you may have used in the past, such as Java or Python. That said, there are a ton of unique properties to JavaScript, and a deep understanding of these aspects of the language are what can really set you apart as a front-end engineer. Additionally, JavaScript on the front end is usually executed inside of a user's browser, which is very different than almost any other programming we might do, where we run our code on our own computers and our servers. As a result, we get a very unique set of features provided by the browser that we can take advantage of. But at the same time, we need to be aware of the limitations imposed by different browsers. For example, our JavaScript all executes in a single thread, and the browser uses something called the event loop to mimic concurrency. Understanding how this event loop works might seem unimportant at first, but it's actually incredibly important in understanding asynchronous programming with JavaScript and how to interact with the APIs provided by the browser. In this crash course, we will start with the basics of the JavaScript language, such as its syntax, types, and operators. Then we will move on to more advanced features to really get a deep understanding of the nuances of the language, such as the model for object-oriented programming and how closures are used to determine scoping of identifiers. Finally, we will work with the browser to see how we can manipulate the document to create interactive web pages that respond to user inputs and communicate with the server. As you prepare for front-end interviews, a deep knowledge of JavaScript is arguably the most important component to passing those interviews. It is very likely that you will be asked to implement functions or classes using JavaScript, just like the interview questions here on Frontend Expert, and these questions will be designed to test your understanding of these topics. Many of them have very simple and elegant solutions, but they are oftentimes nearly impossible to solve without the specialized knowledge of how the JavaScript language is working. Moreover, you might be asked to write JavaScript to add functionality to a web page, similar to the DOM manipulation questions here on Frontend Expert. And again, these questions are not designed to test your knowledge of some obscure mathematical algorithms, but they're more about a practical knowledge of how JavaScript and the browser work, and of course how to interact with the HTML document using JavaScript. Okay, so with that, I hope this introduction gave you a good idea of the goals of this crash course and why JavaScript is such an important topic in front-end engineering. So let's get right into the crash course, and I'll see you in the next video.